It's our final game of the day and the final game of what was the Super Week for Playday 4 and Playday 5. 2 Playdays to follow after this. And boy, it's going to be close. And for QConfirm, an opportunity presents itself. You win and you get all 3 points, and second place is yours with 2 Playdays to go. For Elevate, the same can't be said, as they did lose to the Chiefs, but third place could be theirs with a win. Either way, whoever does end up winning this, even if it's in OT, guys, gets into the top 4.
Big stakes then on this matchup. Flores off the board first. Substitute for Thatcher. That doesn't typically see a whole lot of play here on Coast. Lion to be followed up. And you know what that means? Elevate, they're going to go for some pretty wild roams on the defense. In fact, both teams will.
Yeah, and honestly, you kind of expect this from Coastline, these 2 teams as well. This is going to be roam heavy, and even more so when you take the Lion off the board as well. The Flores, the Mirror, a little bit more of the sort of conventional approach here. Obviously, even the Lion on Coastline's actually pretty conventional, and so far, the bans that we're seeing from both teams, very much true to form here for Coastline, and yeah, no real surprises so far.
Find a defensive ban will be a little bit interesting. I'm just going to wait for it to play out. I don't want to hypothesize too much. Okay, Volk. So, yeah, she's definitely quite potent here on Coastline. A lot of positions where you can place cameras, and due to the nature of the map being incredibly destructible on the vert, means that Nitro cells in combination with that intelligence can be really powerful. So not having to deal with that, not needing to bring IQ, frees up a different slot for a pocket pick on the attack. Nothing really, again, standing out too much here in the ban phase, but I have no doubt when we get inside of the server, getting a read on this match is going to be very, very difficult. Expect a lot of aggression. Early round, I'd honestly be willing to bet that 90% of rounds is going to be a pick in the first minute. It's just the nature of how these teams play, and being Coastline as well, and that's just going to open up the map and open up these rounds a lot. And
then especially with the bans as well, so much info gathering has been taken off the board, both sides, and so therefore I do agree with you in the fact that it is Coastline. Do wonder, of course, when we hypothesize a little bit here on Coastline, and you already touched on it earlier on in the broadcast about, you know, the rework of it. It's not a large rework, and I think, you know, we actually ended up casting the game of Coastline that happened in APAC South. There was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 rounds of Pen Theater, and that was about it. And there wasn't a whole lot of success from that. And then I think after 2 rounds, it was actually sort of shied away from a little bit, and probably didn't notice too much of a difference from the teams and their playstyle. So I'm expecting again here that it should play out like Coastline of old.
Yeah, it still plays out quite similarly. The major changes, the 2 things for me at least, are the VIP the soft wall, exterior wall, in replacement of what used to be a double window, and outside of that, the roof now isn't as viable to sit on as an attacker. You can still cut off some angles on the rotation, but it's nowhere near as powerful as it used to be. Now we get to see, again, how aggressive are these teams willing to be. That's
interesting.
Electro Claw on that VIP external wall. We did see QConfirm setting up for an extension. Oh, there, okay, that's one. I told you.
Yep, you said it.
Probably not in that fashion, but...
Yeah, and this should probably end up being attacker-sided. At minimum, you're probably expecting a 4-2 scoreline to Elevate. That's the path of the course. That's the goal here in the opening half. It's going to be very difficult for the defenders to sort of find a spot and find some kills. They're going to have to be aggressive for QConfirm. They're going to have to look for spawn peaks, make it really difficult for Elevate to even just get into the building and hold maybe some off angles that Elevate aren't going to be expecting. They need to be setting the tempo on the defense here. They can't just sit back close to site, on site, any of them. They need to be looking to make plays.
And that meta shift we've seen in the last couple of months over towards Coastline, and the defenders leaning into denying any entry anywhere on the map as much as possible, is being exploited even further here by QConfirm. Heavy extension over towards VIP. Members as well inside of Hookah monitoring that entry point for Elevate. And yeah, it is an uneasy position to find yourself in on this map as a defender, but equally just trying to, again, get boots on the ground for the attack is proving to be so challenging. In fact, I still don't think there's a single attacker inside the map. They're still stacking outside, trying to find a pick back.
To be fair, of course, it is Hookah Billiards, so it's not really the furthest kind of site where you're so far off site with, say, only a minute left. You can always rush onto site, try and find kills as sort of that last-ditch resort. You've got a bit of time to get to work. Eventually, you would expect a bit more pressure over towards Aqua. It's still a minute, so there's still time, but I guess maybe leading into that early kill that they established onto Lycolis, having won. Well, there's that kill lead gone. Caster Cursed immediately Dark, able to find the kill onto DCH. 50 seconds remaining.
Boost angle from Hajime on the couches inside of Billiards, watching the Hookah entry alongside Producer Boom and Spacehead as well on Cool Vibes can aid in that hold. Sapper though, crouches up through Aqua, might be able to initiate a play.
Yep, now they've got pressure on both sides. Pretty default plant here through Aqua. Hajime can swing, but he's expecting probably someone to be watching, and that someone is Nerix. Now two, that C4's a little too late. If Dark had have actually been in that position originally, could have gone for that Nitrocell to stop the plant, but unfortunately sort of wrong player in the wrong position. And for Elevate, they'll get that plant. Dark won't be able to do anything here. Outnumbered and outgunned. Elevate will take the opening round.
Great job there from Elevate. It took them a little while to get some territory on the map, but once they did, especially over towards Aqua, they just played default. Got that diffuser down behind the chassis, able to cover the swing there from Drinks.
Here we go.
Here we go, what?
Pantheater.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought, I was scanning, looking at what operator you're talking about, then I looked out, I was like, okay, Pantheater. Yeah, so, you're thinking of Direwolves and Chiefs. Direwolves attempted Penthouse Theater on the defense a couple of times, and it didn't really work out outside of the one round that they won. So it was a 7-1 loss to the team that did try this site. What can QConfirm bring to the table? It does feel like the objective now is a little bit more viable, again with VIP, the extension now being a lot safer than it used to be due to the exterior wall and the fact that you can bring wall denial in the shape of a Kaid on this occasion. So yeah, I'm just super excited to see how QC lean into this.
Yeah, and thinking back to that particular Direwolves match, the way they extended was quite literally all the way over to Hookah Billiards, if you remember, guys. We were kind of questioning whether that far of an extension and basically trying to control the entire second floor was the play. I think Chiefs ended up exploiting them vertically, and that was sort of the difference maker really on that coastline map as a whole. So yeah, very curious to see how QConfirm will play this. You will expect some sort of an extension obviously over to Hookah Billiards, but how much so is the question. If Elevate don't necessarily push into this, then QConfirm need to adapt and rotate off even if they do commit utility to this area.
A lot of different angles and lines of sight have been created here by QConfirm to again make that entry for the attack very tricky. Maybe there's a weakness in this setup that Elevate can exploit, but how much exposure have they had to this site in particular in scrims or in officials, and how many times have they come up with a setup that is just as extended as this? I don't know the answer to that. We'll probably find out quickly if Elevate can, again, find a weakness to try and exploit. If VIP can be cleared here and those attackers over towards Billiards cut off, I don't see any reason why Elevate won't be able to take this round. I think it's going to come down to VIP. That, for me, is the critical part of the map. Who wins this out? And with that deployable shield up, maybe QConfirm, Spacehead in particular, can try and get an opener.
Yeah, Elevate right now just sort of brute forcing their way through here. They don't look too equipped for sort of a vert take and trying to go below Pent Theater and then maybe push up, say, White Stairs for that sort of execute. So they're going to push straight for VIP. And if they can find this kill into Spacehead, that's really going to open things up immensely for them. But for as long as he's alive, he's going to be a nuisance and sort of deny that push in through VIP. DCH, though, well, he finds the kill onto Dark, and this is really what the best teams are able to do, guys. They don't just tunnel in through one position. Dark's able to sort of rotate off of that VIP position, goes and finds that kill onto Dark.
Minute 20 now left. Elevate still looking to clear out VIP, but having issues clearing that deployable shield. They have the utility to do so. That utility might be in the hands of Zofia, but Napier preoccupied inside of a luggage like Colas, holding down the line. It feels like slowly but surely the defense is being choked out here, but again, I think Spacehead is going to be the linchpin. If he wins a fight, QC win the round. If he loses, Elevate can convert.
Still early days here, but good signs from Elevate so far on Coastline. The boys were a little bit mixed on the desk. Maybe we can get some sick beats on the deck as well. 5-3.
Thank God you're not a New Zealander. Otherwise, I would have thought you'd said something a little bit different there. Like, oh, let's get the flank. Napu also finds the kill. Oh, it's a 1v5. Like, Colas needs to produce something special. But Onigiri swings to shut it down.
Yeah, that just did not end up working at all, did it? Just got really opened up. But a reminder that it's early days, first and foremost, and it's attacking for Elevate. You expect them to do well here on the attack, right? So they're the expected team to do well, and it's up to QConfirm to try and edge out 2 or 3 rounds. That's the goal. That's what they'll be aiming for. Okay, they gave Pent Theatre a go. They obviously had a pretty extensive setup, VIP, a little bit over towards Hooker Billiards. But in the end, Elevate just sort of, you find one pick and then you find a second pick, and suddenly all that control over towards VIP and even to a degree Hooker Billiards is basically forfeited, and you have to then force the rest back onto site, in which after that, you just pick them apart. Full credit to Elevate, and I think maybe for QConfirm, going back over to Hooker Billiards is probably the right play here.
Yeah, if I'm QConfirm, if I'm attempting that site and leaning on the Kaid, especially for VIP, which got open so early and made that position so difficult to hold, and again, I still think it was probably the most important part of that setup. You've got to be banning Thatcher over Flores if you're playing like this. Now, I know it's coastline, and maybe you're constricting yourself a little bit because you're picking, or banning rather, one operator for one particular site. But if that's sort of the ace up your sleeve to take down your opponents and kind of get that gimme objective, then that's the play you've got to make, and just back yourself in to clear those Flores drones as required, or even you can use plenty of mute jammers or Bozzy pests to deny them anyway for that position. So that's just my pocket analysis. Happy to be proven wrong, as you know, you'd still make it work with Thatcher up, but it is a lot more difficult.
I think Flores does a lot of damage on other sides though, especially inside a kitchen, and obviously Hooker Billiards as well.
That's the trade-off, right? You're 100% right, but then just don't go Pent. Play the other 3 stable sides.
Yeah, or if you are going to play Pent, then you've got to understand sort of where those weaknesses are maybe, and what can be opened. Still back over to Hooker Billiards for the second time now for QConfirm, of course. Elevate winning it the first time around. A lot of control given up so far towards that Aqua position, at least for the time being. See how QConfirm sort of re-rotate back over towards the site late into the round, and maybe try and force a bit of a flank for anyone that does elect to eventually try and push through that position.
Now, we did see DCH's first Twitch drone, I think, get taken down, but it looks like he has a second, thankfully enough, and with Thatcher on the board as well, dealing with some of this utility shouldn't be that much of an issue. Shield over towards Vaz off the board, exposing that hookah push a little bit, and with such a vast extension on the other side of the map, again, maybe Elevate can drone out sight and seize an opportunity to force a retake.
Yeah, so much information as well has already been obtained. So now they've got Aqua control. They can now keep an eye on this hallway and make sure that no one's going to be pushing from top white, which I think the plan originally was for QConfirm to do just that. Onigiri actually finds a kill onto Producer Boom, who unfortunately has not been able to produce that much in the opening 3 rounds. And full hallway control now being watched by DCH means that players can move in behind him through Aqua for Elevate.
I think the round's probably over. Hajime Drinks needs to come up with something big. Space it on the swing. Oh,
no.
That was the opportunity, but Onigiri boosted up, finds that kill. Napu elsewhere for another, and it could well be flawless. Back to back here for Elevate. Oh, like Colas does deny it, but he's not going to win the round.
Yeah, some questionable things at the moment from QConfirm. But as was proven in our previous game of Direwolves IG, you cannot get ahead of yourselves too early, guys, inside of the first 4 rounds. But you would probably say we're getting to that point now where it's kind of getting into the territory for QConfirm where they need to find a round. In the next 2-3 rounds, they must find at least one. I say 2-3, it's honestly the next 2. You've got to at least find one, and then maybe you can force the second in that 6th and final round of the first half. No timeout called yet. I do notice somewhat of a trend that teams do like, if they are behind early, to take the timeout after the 4th round so that they can rectify things with 2 rounds to go in the half and still get a lot out of it.
Yeah, from an outsider's perspective, and that's going to be different to those inside the server, what the way I would describe this matchup playing so far from a QConfirm perspective is they have the strat book ready, they have their dry run strats ready to go. They've clearly put a lot of thought and effort into a lot of these extensions and setups. They're well thought through. But Elevate, on the other hand, for the most part, are just completely negating it, ignoring it, dealing with it, especially with the Thatcher available. And QConfirm have no fallback. They're not adapting. Once they are under the pump in a position, they either hold it on to the point of dying and then lose critical map control, or they hold their positions offsite that aren't having much of an impact. And that is allowing Elevate, for the most part, to go pretty damn head on towards these objectives. Now, again, coastline, very difficult to defend at times. But it doesn't feel like QConfirm have really got themselves inside of the server at the moment, and they are struggling against that potent sort of aggression and tactility combination from Elevate.
Still time to turn things around though, but again, opening pick to Elevate, and again, Elevate dictating everything, guys. Opening picks, execution, mid-game, all on the terms of Elevate. And QConfirm just not really offering much of any sort of aggression. Like, I probably want to see more on-site action, not on-site like sitting on site, but more like, let's get involved. Let's try and make it harder for them to even get a look in on site. They're sitting so far off site that they're just not in the action. They're just allowing Elevate to clear all the util, drone out, get in position, execute on site. And it's happening so many rounds in a row now. Little trade there in the kill feed on Agiri with the Martyrdom there. Death nade from the grave. Gets his own trade.
That's the mantra we talked about earlier, the meta shift towards defenders wanting to deny as much map presence as possible. And I mean, that's great. That's all well and good. But if you're being exploited on site as a result of your lack of presence and utility, well, then it clearly isn't working out. Now, Napier unlucky to get a potential pip there. Yellow ping there inside of Billiard, sprays a little bit, and then a little bit more. DCH misses the cutoff. Oh, that's devastating for Elevate.
No, it's a win. It completely forced him off site down the hatch.
The kill would have been better.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, look. Yeah,
if they get the kill, they win the round.
But,
like
but they're in the site now. No, they're in the map. They're in the building now. They can actually move from this position. If you don't clear out that player and he still lingers around, you waste more time. Maybe he finds a kill. So yeah, obviously you'd like to kill, but he's able to drop down the hatch, get away. You now get into position. Although Dark actually loiters around over towards that Cool Vibes position, and Napew does get the trade. Spacehead goes down, and just like the first 3 rounds, again, everything is just going the way of Elevate. Hajmate, the last one standing in a 1 versus 3, rushes back over to the kitchen. Gets one at least onto Napew, still has 45 seconds, but immediately on the way back, Sapper finds the angle and finds the kill. Gotta take a timeout, Gus.
Oh, they heard you.
Okay, good.
What would you be saying to them during the tactical timeout?
Well, I wouldn't be saying anything. It's what they're going to be saying to themselves, really, more than anything. The thing with tactical timeouts is we aren't privy as to what is said, what is discussed. Maybe nothing is sometimes discussed. Maybe it's just about being able to have that minute as a breather to
breathing exercises,
halt the momentum of the opposing team that's obviously playing pretty well. Because, you know, at the end of the day, they've now tried 3 sites out of the 4 rounds, and all 3 of those sites have not looked very good. Do you go Blue Bar Sunrise? Do you sort of discuss that as an option for your final 2 rounds? Do you try and get a one there? Not so much obviously for this round, obviously it's Hooker Billiards, but maybe for the 6th round, say if you win this, do we go Blue Bar, or did we feel like maybe Pant Theatre or Kitchen Service was a better play? I'm not so sure what the equation is there, but nevertheless, I think right now for QConfirm, it's about halting the momentum of Elevate, discussing maybe where things are going wrong. At the end of the day, QConfirm's a very talented team. It won't take much for them to adjust, and if they can adjust, maybe find a round or 2 here on the defense, go into the second half on the attack, build some momentum, and then you can overcome this deficit.
That was very motivational.
Yeah, look, and I think a part of it is off the back of the Direwolves result, guys. You know, I don't want to get too ahead of myself anymore. we take the cautious approach now.
Yeah. QConfirm need to find something here, though. At least 1 round in the half would be great. Because maybe the fortune can turn. Maybe Elevate will fall into this pitfall in their defense and struggle. So we always just have to be a little bit measured, particularly before we enter the second half. Round number 5, though, we're going to head back over towards hookah and billiards. Just how aggressive is the extension going to be? A key change already here for QConfirm, not bringing the Kaid, which suggests to me they're not going to be investing as much of their effort off-site, or at least if they are, they're going to be a little bit more willing to fall back and support the site as required.
So 2 more opportunities, 2 more rounds to find a way back into this match. Of course, sort of reconfirming the stakes here, of course, for both teams in exactly same predicament. A win for QConfirm, they go second. A win for Elevate, they go third. It's pretty simple. You lose this game and you kind of stay in that log jam, that middle of the pack, which has extended all the way from basically third to last. I guess you could constitute as the middle of the pack now. We've seen teams make comebacks before, though, in these sort of positions, down 4-0, and then sort of claw their way back, close out well in the first half, and then find a way to build momentum in the second half, especially then going on to the attack. So it's paramount, though, that they can make it more difficult. Even something like that didn't work, guys, but it's better, and it almost got the kill onto Onigiri. Just something to be a little bit more aggressive.
Onigiri able to adrenal surge himself, bring back at least a little bit of health, but still 1 shot. Sapper on the roof, just chilling, prepping an EMP. I assume this will be to clear out cool vibes. Onigiri doesn't have any grenades left though, so that's probably not going to work out. Maybe someone else can come along and help, but nobody else has grenades. So I'm really interested to know what they're trying to achieve here. Maybe, it's the magnets to take down the vase. Deployable. There we go. Well played. They did that last time, so it should have been.
Minute 40 seconds remaining here. Onigiri has been quite literally just peppering away here from the hookah deck. But it's been a better round for QConfirm simply based on the fact that, you know, within the first 90 seconds, guys, there hasn't been a death.
Well, there had to be 1 round. I only said 90%.
Yeah, well, this is the round that maybe for QConfirm, you've got that even number. Onigiri, of course, has been able to heal up through those adrenal surges. Onigiri finds the kill onto Producer Boom. Although Producer Boom was actually the one that was pretty much dead for the most part, had basically no health anyway. Wasn't going to offer a whole lot. 0 and 5 as well for Producer Boom. This is abysmal. Spacehead 0 and 4 as well. The big guns for QConfirm just not firing. Like Colas, though, doing the best he can to maybe stand up in their absence.
The play for Elevate was probably to EMP the roof, send some flashes in, flush out that player, but Sapper tried to go double window, was too late, couldn't find the cut off. So small misplay there in terms of macro from Elevate could prove costly. At least Sapper can now hold this rotation. Oh, that's good teamwork though. Navy from down below can disrupt, but doesn't find the kill, sprays through, also misses. Like Colas seemingly has 9 lives.
The good thing about this situation, though, is that it took a lot of time.
Jeez.
Like, Colas almost made the run across. Still not dead. Can actually still provide a bit of information there as well. Only 17 seconds left in the round. Dark, though, going down makes things more difficult for QConfirm. Onigiri can now push straight into hookah, knowing there's that player in the hallway. The kills just line up all 1 by 1. With 20 seconds left, guys, I'm thinking maybe QConfirm have an opportunity here. And then 10 seconds later, 3 quick kills. Elevate make it 5-0. And suddenly, my prediction of QConfirm is looking abysmal.
You've come to that realization now?
Absolutely. Yeah, look, I gave them a chance up until the tactical timeout. That's my thought process there. Yeah, boy.
You got to stand by your prediction, but it's difficult now.
I never expect it in, like, 5-0, guys? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, we know historically that these two play against each other a lot, Thai Operation League and extensively in the past as well.
I'm not complaining though, to be honest. I don't mind a quick game.
You got places to be.
Attackers need to locate.
Yeah, you got a busy night ahead of you, do you, Xanax?
I guess you could say so.
Yeah, fair enough. I know you do have a lot on your plate, and so to QConfirm trying to bring this back, as I was saying, historically Elevate have kind of had the upper edge, but it has been a bit of a tug of war between these two for the longest time, and for whatever reason, QConfirm just not showing up in the server today, and Elevate on these attacks are absolutely shredding their opponents apart. Even when QConfirm in that last round, again, tried to actually play a little bit more towards site, and support one another a little bit closer together. It just didn't work. Again, Elevate, every single mini game they won out. It was a little bit sloppy, particularly that one in Aqua, but they made up for it in the end. And players elsewhere fragging out, couldn't really ask for more.
Perimeter defense active.
We've seen miraculous comebacks before, guys. It's not often though, right? Like they're not even the 5%. They're almost like the 1%. I think the only one we've seen. Have we even seen any like crazy ones this year? I don't even know if we've seen it. Like I'm pretty sure the last 6-0 I can think of, the 6-0 comeback was that Oregon one, 7th Heaven, which I think was maybe at the start of this year. So there you go. That's probably the only one. Means it's really bad territory that QConfirm find themselves in unless they find this round win. 5-1s by far and away have been done before, especially here on Coastline. But they've got to get their 2 best players in the game. I mean, seriously, for Spacehead and Producer Boom to be combining for 0 and 10 between the two of them is not good enough.
Oh, the EMPs don't quite land that time. ADS devices will stand, and that phase deployable shield will stand for at least a little bit longer. Pick elsewhere, Spacehead, you jinxed him. 0 and 6.
I didn't jinx him, mate. He's been playing like this all game.
Nah, you jinxed him. It was all your fault.
I'm a bit disappointed here. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little disappointed from QConfirm. I know they're on the defense, and we will probably see them get a few rounds on the attack, but they haven't offered a punch, guys. Like, this is just a whimper. The only one that has done anything has been Lycolis.
Yeah. Who's been tasked with some really difficult positions to hold, and he's actually doing a great job. A lot of this solo work against multiple players. On the vert, you can see he's just getting absolutely abused. No one downstairs in office supporting that on the roam, and rightly so. I mean, no one's really alive yet anymore for QConfirm. A 2 versus 4, 0-5 down. That might be the turning point, though, at least in this round. Hajime drops the kit.
Yeah, and then immediately, though, Producer Boom cannot get anything to work in this game, along with Spacehead, now both 0 and 12. The 2 best players on this team struggling immensely on the defense. 35 seconds remaining. Eric's to use the X Kairos to destroy that Sawyer gate. Kills for the 3 players of Elevate. Still need to go and pick up this diffuser. Nerix and Nape, you both had angles. 6-0 here on Coastline.
This was meant to be the scoreline from the last game.
Well, to a degree. And even then, I probably would not have said a 6-0 would have been on the cards for IGV Direwolves, right?
No.
I don't even think that would have been the case. This is quite appalling from QConfirm. Full credit, of course, by the way, to Elevate, a team that has been in somewhat of a slump this stage for a team that is, of course, already going to be heading to SI. Like, they don't really have to do much anyway.
Yeah, almost heading to SI.
I'll
find it out. Okay. Let's have a look. Elevate. If they finish outside of playoffs contention, I don't know exactly where the numbers lead, but if they make it to playoffs to finish top 4 in APAC South, 96%. And then if they finish... Actually, no, sorry, okay, pardon me. If they finish outside the 8, 96%. If they finish inside the 8, so they make the top 4 in APAC South for playoffs, 99.99%. So, yeah, their spot isn't quite confirmed, but it basically is. But nonetheless, right, you need to be putting in some good form. They've never been to an international major. Imagine SI being their first LAN event. That would be a shock to the system. And I think the major, if they could at least make it to that, would give them some much needed experience and comfort in that regard.
They're a long way from making the major. They're actually a longer way from making the major than they are SI.
That's so weird.
But, you know, by getting all 3 points here, it will put Elevate to 9 points. That's only 2 behind IG with 2 Playdays to go. And guess what? Those 2 teams play each other Playday 7. That's going to be an absolute banger. And we're casting it.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Another.
Let's go.
There's 10 seconds that time.
Attackers
Oh
recovered
my
the bomb
god. Yeah,
diffuser.
look,
I think it
I've-
actually has been above 90% or like whatever. There's been one round I think that hasn't been.
But, okay, that's what we wanted from QConfirm on the defense, though. Being aggressive, spawn peeking, making it annoying to even just get in the building like that. Thank you, Elevate, for showing what we were trying to say QConfirm should be doing. They've gone and done it, and that's what you can do on the defense here on Coastline. You can get some obscure angles. You can get those spawn peeks. I don't know how Spacehead has won that one. Man has literally just turned his head like almost 180. Hajime finds a kill on Tenerix, makes it 3 versus 3.
It's probably the best breadstick I've ever seen from Spacehead. That's not bad. And not only is the KD looking like a breadstick, but the HP as well, so he's going to have to be very careful for the remainder of this round, and Napier should kill him. No, I guess he will not.
Here
2
we go.
versus 3, and QConfirm are mounting the comeback.
See, this is how it starts off. You start off like as a joke, and then by the time it comes to 6-6,
It's going to meme it into reality.
well, there's always the start of a comeback where no one expects it. Everyone's laughing. Everyone's like, nah, there's no chance. But in those matches that we've seen in Siege history where it starts off as a 6-0 or a 5-1, at some stage it does eventuate. Could this be that game? It starts with 1. That's the biggest thing, though. It starts with just 1 round. And this round in particular hasn't even gone that well for QConfirm. They lost the first 2 players. This was a 5 versus Elevate. And to QConfirm's credit and to Spacehead's credit, has finally been able to get something going in the mid-game of these rounds.
Sapper now in the 1v3. Keep in mind, Spacehead is low and Dark's taking a little bit of a hit as well, so it's not completely unwinnable. Gets the first, but oof. A swift trade from Hajime.
Here we go. Strap yourselves in.
Nah.
Calling it.
It's going to take a little bit more than that.
In fairness, though, it's not like it was a...
They did bring it back, yeah.
Yeah,
The
it was
start
a
of that
cheese
round was
round.
crazy. Elevate
Yeah.
with those spawn peaks. And honestly, it's probably only going to get more extreme as Elevate get a little bit more desperate to close this out. So I wouldn't be surprised if they ramp it up even further here in round number 8.
Yeah. Well, that was really good, though, from Spacehead, at least in that round. I think when you're the best player on the team, you generally come with those expectations. And generally, if you're 0-6 in the first half, you know, you're obviously not having a good game. I don't think anyone is at that point. Critical plays in that round, and that's what you expect from the likes of Spacehead and Producer Boom. To have those kind of moments and to be a consistent force to rely on and not just leave it all up to Lycolis to be the one-man army.
Attackers need to locate
6-1
as
though.
many bombs as they
Now over to Hooker Billiards. And I think Elevate's a team that has that mentality of not giving up on this game. I know it's weird to say that, right? You're up 6-1. What do you mean giving up? But as in, like, thinking ahead, like, we've already won it. Like, this is over. It'll just happen, right? You need to almost play these next couple of rounds, or just this one, if you win it, as if it's like 5-5, or, you know, if it's, you know, 7-7, for instance. Like, you cannot start thinking about what you're going to have for dinner after this game. Right? You got to focus in on these round scuds. That goes for you too.
5 seconds left before insertion.
What'd you say?
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Well,
Too busy fighting with Rob.
I don't know who that is. I only associate myself with T1 commentators.
With their sidecasters, yeah, I get it.
Nah, Raven's okay.
Oh, okay.
We all love Raven. Well, what can Elevate produce here? Can they close out this match and get one step closer towards securing their position at SI? That's what they're all fighting for. QConfirm, maybe not necessarily fighting for that position as it's unattainable at this point, but a bit of pride on the line for them. The tie matchup between these two, a fierce rivalry. The scoreboard probably doesn't really reflect that at the moment, but they trade blows all the time. Hajime, double window repel, looking to cut off this defender inside of theater. It's DCH from Elevate, looking to extend the objective a little bit more.
Oh, Spacehead wins those, yeah. DCH gets caught top right, and now advantage for QConfirm. This is what I'm saying, guys. This is where it can kind of begin for QConfirm. You get on a bit of a roll on the attack on Coastline. Attacker-sided, especially with a lot of info-gathering operators banned out. Makes it even further attacker-sided. Actually, with a little poke on the Twitch drone. Minute and a half remaining. One-man advantage for QConfirm. Now turns into 2. Signs of life now established for QConfirm.
Good positions established. On the vertical, on the horizontal, rather. Here for QConfirm, but still need to be able to close out the round. Minute to go. Air jabs being deployed to protect the attack from some aggression. Napier is going to be flashed out. That should be a free kill, but they don't capitalize immediately. Napier holds his ground. SMG in hand. Pokes up against the double kill with the spray. That's huge, and that could be Elevate winning the round and winning the map.
Air jab stops him for the time being, but still full sight control now for Elevate. Sapper with the kill onto Dark. It has capitulated for QConfirm. What a play. What a game changer from Napier. 24 seconds remaining in this match. If Hajime and Producer Boom cannot come up big, they need to play off each other. The Gas Babes 2 still available for Napier to deny time. Hajime has to push in, does so, finds the kill, loses his life though. 4, there's the last one to go. Elevate win so comfortably. 7-1 stomping on Coastline. And what a play from Napier, the double inside of Aqua to basically seal the deal. And Elevate now find themselves in 3rd place in the top 4. Looking pretty good here now for stage 3.
Cruise control activated for Elevate. A pretty comfortable win in the end, only a slight snip up. Otherwise, a faultless match. They will be quite pleased with that result. And for QConfirm, definitely back to the drawing board here on Coastline. Didn't look comfortable at all.
I'm disappointed, guys. I'm still disappointed.